Hey guys, it's me, Ray, your internet best buddy, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on the Nintendo press conference that aired last night. Just want to say I'm a big Nintendo fan. I love Pokemon, Mario, Zelda, all of that. I buy the 3DS just to play Pokemon. I still have my N64. Ice Blue, baby. So let's talk about the Switch. Let me bring my notes up, because I took a bunch. First of all, I thought the press conference was pretty meh overall. They talked about a lot of cool things, which got me excited. They also talked about a lot of stuff that really made no sense, wasted a lot of time, and honestly, they should have explained a lot more than what they did for a system that's barely 2 months out. Now, I'm going to be peering over here to my list constantly, because I wrote down quite an extensive amount. I'm surprised I actually wrote this much. I want to preface all this that I'm mostly going off the information released last night, Thursday night, the 12th, at 11:30 p.m., when they did their press conference, and then some of the press release information that was given out afterwards. So we're going to start with the press conference itself, some of the information they delivered, what I think they kind of missed, and just some of my comments overall. March 3rd, for $300, you can get your Nintendo Switch. First of all, the date's really good, and I like the price point. $300 for a new system, especially from Nintendo, is pretty good. No pack-in games, though. And I'll come back to that in a second. I'm surprised there's no pack-in game. They announced these two games called ARMS, which is like a spring-loaded boxing game, which looks really cool. And another game that I really just don't understand what the hell it was, which was the 1-2 Switch. Those should have been pack-in games, but they are being sold separately. Don't understand that. They are definitely pack-in worthy games, and they could be fun, but I'm not spending $60. I'm really kind of tired of motion controls, but I'm going to be honest, ARMS looks pretty cool. It still should have been a packed-in game, but I think it looks pretty cool. Should have been this generation's Wii Sports. One of the big things I think Nintendo's been lacking on is an online ecosystem, much like an Xbox Live or PSN, where you create your account, all your information's kind of saved there, and for the most part, it looks like they're actually going to implement this. I did want more info as far as the online ecosystem, aside for coming in fall and free until then, especially when there's not a lot coming out that takes advantage of the online ecosystem during the free period. I want to know the online price of the month-to-month service, because I don't know if they can get away with charging $50, $60 like PlayStation has in the past, and how Xbox and PlayStation are charging now. I also wanted to know more about the features, but they didn't give too much information during the actual press conference. Not region locking the system is actually a pretty big deal. Thank God Nintendo learned from the new 3DS disaster they had, because they actually put in a charging cord for this system. I like the design of the Joy-Cons, which are the little controller pieces you slide on the side of the tablet. They also announced these two different color variations for the Joy-Con controllers, a neon blue and a neon red. And I really like those, I want those. The only negative as far as the Joy-Con goes, I think, is that they just seem really small. Battery life for the tablet is going to be 2.5 to 6 hours, I think they said, depending on what type of software you're using on it, which, if you're playing the new Zelda game, you really can't expect more than like 3.5 hours playtime out of that. That game's going to be way too intensive. They also have a cool sharing feature, much like Xbox and PS4 already have, where you can take screenshots, and I think they said later on in the console's life, you can take videos as well and share them to various social networks. That's pretty cool. Nintendo, if you're listening to this small channel, don't make videos around features. I don't need an ice cube and water pouring video to explain that your Joy-Cons have rumble in them. And my God, if they said Switch, oh my God. The absolute worst part of the press conference was every time they were going to transition to a new segment, they were like, alright, now I'm going to switch over to this guy. That was funny the first time. They said it at least 10 to 20 more times. Super Mario Odyssey got announced, and it's a huge open world looking Mario game where he's running through a city. He's got climbing to do on the buildings. Looks awesome. And it comes out in holiday 2017. What the They then went on to showcase a lot of bigger titles that are going to be on the system. You have Xenoblade 2, which looks interesting. I've never really played them, but I know people really like them. The Dragon Quest games, which look really interesting. They've got Dragon Quest 10 and 11, and then Heroes 1 and 2 coming to the system. I don't think they put out a release date. There's a new Fire Emblem coming out. I don't think they put out a release date. Shin Megami Tensei looks pretty cool. Oh boy, they're bringing Skyrim to the Switch, which in the press conference, they didn't say if it was Skyrim HD, they just said Skyrim, so I'm really hoping we don't get the 5-year-old version on this new system. A lot of ports coming to the system. Let me tell you what, Rayman Legends is on there. That game's at least 2 years old. Is it 2 years old? Maybe it's only a year old. Grasshopper / Suda51, they're putting out a game on here. I really liked Lollipop Chainsaw and Shadows of the Damned, but I can't see a game like that ending up on the system. But here's hoping. It could be a cool game. EA came out And even though Mass Effect Andromeda is only weeks away, they decided to announce that FIFA was coming to the Switch. Who cares? You want to make a big impression? Put Andromeda on this system. Splatoon 2, coming out. Not until the summer. The other thing was, the Wii U had this same kind of third-party support, and it just fell off completely. So the fact that they have this list, and they made a big deal, like, we have all this third-party support from all these extra people, it doesn't mean anything. Like I said before, they had the colored Joy-Cons. And I was like, yes, I want those. I will probably buy those additionally. Don't have to, because they're actually putting out a unit with those colored Joy-Cons. They're doing a Pro Controller separate. They've got these straps for the actual Joy-Con, so if you're doing the motion sport stuff, it doesn't fly off your hand. That's pretty cool. Those are actually also included in the base unit of the system. Alright, and then they started teasing the Zelda game, which was the absolute worst case of video game edging I have ever heard of. The announcement was super frustrating because they showed, I believe, a little clip of Zelda, and then they did a video where they're like, oh, hi, I'm this guy from Nintendo. I'm sorry, I don't remember any of the names, except for Reggie Fils-Aimé. I can't talk about it, but here's this gentleman who can. And then Reggie Fils-Aimé came out, and he's like, well, I can't talk about it. Here's this gentleman. And then another guy came out. I know they're super big, important Nintendo figures, but I just don't know the names off the top of my head. I think Shigeru Miyamoto was one of them. Or was he the one that died? I just wanted them to tell me when this game was coming out, and they just would not do that for like a solid 10-15 minutes. Or at least it felt that way. The game looks incredible. It looks like it's going to have a fantastic story. They announced it will be out at launch, so it's a launch title. Fantastic. That's great. That's going to sell some units. You know what other units might sell? The same game that's going to be on the Wii U. Why would you not make this an exclusive to your new system to try to boost your numbers? People are going to buy this new system for Zelda, because that's the only game worth a damn coming out. And you put it on the Wii U also? You're just giving people a reason not to buy your Switch. So that was it on my thoughts of the actual press conference itself. Now let's go over about all the information I've learned from like the press release. The controller prices. Are you freaking kidding me, Nintendo? $70 for a Pro controller. Joy-Con combo, $80. Individual left or right Joy-Con, $50. The charging grip is going to be $30. A docking set is going to be $90. The docking set is the thing you put the tablet in to charge it and play it on TV. $90 for what is essentially the most expensive HDMI cord you could probably buy right now. And then the Joy-Con wheel, which apparently comes with 2 per bundle, is $20. You put the Joy-Cons on, you control it like a wheel. Let's go over the launch lineup. You have Zelda Breath of the Wild. Fantastic. That's the one that's going to sell the system. Just Dance 2017. Has Been Heroes. No idea. 1-2 Switch is going to be a launch title. I don't give a crap about that. Snipper Clips. Super Bomberman. Steep from Ubisoft. Okay. Rayman Legends. An old game getting ported. Skylanders. Don't care. Puyo Puyo Tetris. I like Tetris. Maybe it'll get. Disgaea 5 Complete. I know it's got its fans, but I just don't care. And I Am Setsuna. I don't know what that is. Out of all those games, the only one that interests me in the slightest is Zelda. Mario Kart 8 not releasing until April 28th. Why is it not a launch title? Again, it's just an updated version with new DLC. It's a definitive edition on the new system. Why is that not just a launch title? You've already shown you have the assets ready and everything. 32 gigabytes of storage, but it is expandable. At least in the press conference, they didn't explain how the games work. So is it a little SD chip that you put into the tablet section, or is it a download code? Like, I don't understand what's going on with the games. It's having cases, so if there's some sort of physical media, so I would imagine it's some sort of SD card. Another big question for me is what's going on with the online. You're gonna be getting discounts on game sales, voice chat, which comes from an app. Classic game downloads available each month. What are classic games? NES and SNES games. I don't give a crap about that. At all. SNES games will have online features, though. Yeah, you need an app to communicate. So I don't know if that's going to be like a Facebook Messenger app type of thing where you could just be texting on the go. I want to end off with, I think that the concept for this system and the hardware itself is pretty interesting. It's definitely something new, hasn't been done. If they had a stronger launch lineup, I think they would sell like crazy. I really hope we're not looking at another Wii U situation. There's supposedly, rumored, a digital marketplace for GameCube games. If this is a thing, you should have announced this at the press conference, Nintendo. You thrive off making people rebuy their old games every generation. If you would have said during the press conference, we're going to have the GameCube digital marketplace, all of these big first-party games that you clearly own the rights to, these should have been on there, this thing would have sold like crazy. If you would have offered me Super Mario Sunshine, the Pokemon Coliseum games, which I know aren't that good, you just released Pokemon Snap digitally on the Wii U. This was like a couple months ago. Whose idea was it to do that when you could have just saved that for the Switch? Do you know how many people would have bought your Switch if they could have replayed Pokemon Snap? You have the code for these games. They're all your games. Put them all on the digital marketplace. $10 to $20 at most. You should not be charging more for those games. Hopefully there's more information released today. In the end, I liked the press conference. There was so much wasted stuff in it though. A lot of poor communication, but they did get me more excited. If they would have made this thing like $250 or oh my god, $200, I wouldn't even really think about it. $200, I bought the 3DS, a $200 system, just to play Pokemon. Nintendo, you know people aren't above this. Anyway, guys, that's all for me. Thanks again for watching. Leave down in the comments what you thought about the Nintendo Switch, the press conference. Definitely give the video a like and a share. Let's spread this thing around like butter on bread. Definitely go down and subscribe to this channel. That way you're up to date with all the content that I'm putting out. I'll leave a link down below to my Twitter so you can follow me on there, keep up to date with everything I'm doing. Thanks again for watching, everybody. See ya.